Hi! As someone who's dyed their hair approximately 130, without over-exaggerating times, since January 2024, so in the past 15 months, and by the end of 2024 I stopped on 96 hair colors, I think I've got something to say in how to safely dye your hair at home. I think that was like the only video idea that more than one person gave me, so, you know, let's roll with it. Okay, first things first, my hair is really thick. Volume wise, like I have a lot of hair, and also thickness wise, if you compare my hair to my mom's hair, my hair is much thicker, meaning if you have really thin and fragile hair, whatever I say it still probably won't help you, and your hair will probably still get ruined if you dye it at home too many times. You can still try, just don't want to use my knowledge on hair that isn't like mine. If you look at pictures of my hair from before I started dyeing it notoriously, it was curly. It's getting its waves back, but not a curl pattern, really. For the fact that my hair has been bleached 25 times, I still think is doing really, really well. Okay, first thing, instead of using box dye, use direct dye. What direct dye is you get a tiny little box of dye that you have to mix up with your conditioner. That way it doesn't damage your hair, because while dyeing it you also use conditioner on your hair. It kind of cancels out. While if you do it notoriously it still will damage your hair a tiny little bit, it will definitely damage it less than using box dye. Second thing, don't bleach the color out of your hair. Unless you're going from a very dark natural hair color to blonde, don't bleach your hair. Use hair color remover. Hair color remover doesn't damage your hair. Some of them do, but most of them don't. That way your hair won't get ruined, even if you do change your hair colors a lot. Another thing, if I wanted to go from purple to pink right now, what should I do on my hair? Color remove it? Wrong answer. Dye it pink? Wrong answer. Dye it red? Correct, you get a point. You don't win anything with it, but you get a point. Color theory. Obviously, if you had blue hair and you wanted to get green hair, what would you do? Not dye it green, dye it yellow, because you know that these two colors make green. And even though this is a really obvious example, I feel like most people would still try and dye their hair green, which doesn't make fucking sense. Learned from my own mistakes. All of that I've learned completely from my own mistakes. If you have purple hair and you want to go pink, what you should do is dye your hair red. For like one wash, your hair will be red. After that, the little bit of hair dye that didn't get washed off while just removing the rest of it the day that you dyed it, it will wash off to pink, and it'll be like a raspberry pink for a bit. If you put pink hair dye on top of purple hair dye, it will just end up a really ugly radioactive purple hair color. I know, because I've tried to do that. Another thing, use conditioner. Hair masks, conditioners, everything will be the love of your life if you're going to change your hair color a lot. When my hair was at its worst, I think I went for like a week straight, like 3 times, where I would wash my hair one day, go for a week with just conditioning it every day but not shampooing it, and then over and over again I would only wash it once a week but then condition it every day. I know it sounds grim, but my hair really doesn't get greasy, and it's not even because it's dry and damaged. It just never did get greasy a lot that easily, so I could wash it not that often and it will be okay. Obviously, if your hair does get greasy, I don't think you really have a choice in that, but if you do have a choice, and if you can not wash it every day and just use hair masks on it, that will save your hair. Again, I don't put my conditioner on for like a minute and then wash it off. I take baths. What I do every time I go and take a bath, I wash my hair, shampoo it, then I put my conditioner on, wash my face, wash my body, and I then don't wash out the conditioner. What I do is take my phone, sit in the bathtub for approximately 30 minutes, and then wash it out. If you do that every day, I feel like that does a lot more than keeping it on for 1 minute. My absolute lord and savior that does everything for my hair, because there are some brands that are going to be like, for dry and damaged hair, and they're going to make my hair even worse. The perfect one that I love, I need to Google that actually, excuse pronunciation, the red L'Oreal Paris. Oh my god. And you know what I'm telling you, you know I've bleached the color out of my hair multiple times. You know I've not been good with my color theory. That's why you should trust me. because I've learned from my mistakes. Another thing I want to say, if you're going for results and not really health of your hair, which isn't the best idea, but if you're going for purely results while bleaching your hair, go for the cheapest option. The cheapest bleach is going to bleach your hair more, but isn't going to be as good for it. Whilst the more expensive options, what I've learned from my own experience, I've had a lot of experience with hair dye. What happens when you buy a more expensive option is that it's going to be better for your hair. It's not going to damage it as much, but you're not going to go further in the color. And if you're going to achieve a certain shade of blonde or whatever, you are going to use the more expensive version of bleach more times, and eventually going to damage your hair much more. So there is no reason to buy the most expensive one. Even though it's expensive, it seems better, it doesn't damage your hair as much if you do it once. If you do it more than like twice, there is really no difference in that. Another thing, be mindful when you dye your hair, please. If you know you didn't like your dark hair and you randomly get a thought thinking, oh, maybe I'd like it now. No, you won't. No, you won't like it. No, you won't. Don't dye your hair black. Never dye your hair black. Black hair is the most needy hair color you can ever have. I've had my blonde. You use a purple shampoo and it's okay. You wash your hair anyway. It doesn't do anything. Black hair dye needs to be re-dyed every 2 weeks because otherwise it goes brown. Unless you're sure you want that certain hair color for ages, don't dye it. I'm talking about permanent hair dyes because obviously my hair goes purple, pink, whatever, multiple times, any different color. But those aren't permanent, those are temporary. I can get rid of that within one wash. Well, kinda, I can get rid of purple by going red and then pink eventually. But you know, I can still get rid of it. You can't really get rid of black that easily. Whilst for bleach, I would recommend you go for the cheapest option because that's going to get more color out of your hair. As for hair dye, please go for the more expensive one. Because I used to dye my hair from 2022 June to early 2023. I used to dye my hair the cheapest black hair dye option that there was in the store. And then early 2023, I tried to go for a split dye. I bleached my hair 6 times within one day. It was fried. It was dead. I don't even know what the fuck was I thinking. And it was still orange. And then within the week, I dyed it all back to black again, obviously. And it was still really damaged. But then eventually I started using more expensive hair dye. And that actually went out of my hair within one bleach session. Even if you've been dyeing your hair for like ages and you've been using the cheapest option, please go into the more expensive one because if you ever want to change it, it'll be so much easier. Obviously, if you change your hair color a lot like I do, always go for the most expensive hair dye and least expensive bleach. Least expensive bleach gets the color out, most expensive hair dye lets you get the color out because least expensive hair dye will really dig into your hair and hold on to it there, and most expensive bleach will try to save your hair while not really getting the color out. Back in October when I dyed my hair black for a whole 2 weeks before I went back to blonde, trust me, if I didn't use that really expensive black hair color, I would be crashing out over having a buzz cut right now. Not over my purple hair, I would be crashing over having a buzz cut. Oh yeah, you don't know those things, but at one point or another, I bleached my hair so much and I kept dyeing it so much that I have a video while I was sat in the bathtub with the bleach on and my hair started coming off. If I find the video, I might include it if it doesn't look too weird, because I was in the shower in the video. If you ever want to go for a split dye, go for a split dye, you know? I know what happened to me, but maybe that's just a me thing, you know? I won't advise you not to. If you want to go for a split dye, go for it. You can do it on your own. Get a mirror, get your phone, put your phone in the back, do what you want. My split dye was perfectly split in the middle. If you want to have chunky highlights though, I would advise you get someone to do that. Maybe it works different when you have long hair, but with me and my quite short hair, it barely reaches my shoulders, you know? My chunky highlights were the worst thing I've ever seen. Absolutely worst thing ever. Fuck that. They washed out within a week. Huh? I used 2 different hair dyes. Both of them washed out within a week. And they weren't permanent. And if anyone cares for a hair care routine, I'm gonna drop it right now. This is my daily use conditioner. I already said that. I love this brand and especially this kind. This is my daily use shampoo. I use them both. They work wonders, I promise. This is actually my mom's, but I use it like once a week when my hair feels really dry, and it also works wonders. Obviously, there are different brands in different countries. Maybe that's not in your country and you can use something else. I'm just saying what I use, what works for me. I love those. As for hair color, I'm not really sure what I have on it, because, you know, there's like pink and reds mixed up into it, but the closest I can get to it, you're gonna get right now. This is the exact thing I use on my hair. If it doesn't exist in your country, I'm sure you can find something similar color to it. It's called Orchid Purple. Works wonders, I promise. And I've used this on my hair like a month ago-ish, I would like to say. I'm not sure if it's still in there, but if it is, then you can use both of them and you will achieve a pretty much the same color. Right, I hope I helped you. And don't rely on me fully, because I'm not a hairdresser. I'm just a teenage girl who's sat in her room and has apparently problems with dyeing her hair. But a lot of people ask me for that. Like, how did your hair not fall out? My hair has been falling out for like ages. Every time I dye it, there's just a bunch of hair falling out, breaking, and staying in the bathtub, you know? My hair isn't healthy. But if you trust me enough for me to talk about that, then you're welcome. I just probably wouldn't trust myself as if I saw that video. I'm really, like, glad that someone cares for my opinion and you want me to explain, elaborate on how do I get my hair to not fall out while dyeing it. You know, I'm happy you trust me with that. I know I must have shown you in a way that it's healthy to dye your hair 96 times within a year. It's really not. Don't do it. I don't recommend, especially not bleaching it 25 times out of that. But, you know, I'm just giving you what I've learned from that, and hopefully you can use it wisely. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I'll see you all in a week. Bye!